It's Thursday, February 19th, 2026, and the weekend storm just made a significant move. The GFS model shifted the heaviest snowfall south, and the new bullseye is the Mid-Atlantic. North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, D.C., Delaware, New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania are now in the crosshairs of a 971 millibar monster low offshore by Monday morning. This is less than 5 days away. The European model still says bust, pushes it offshore with virtually no snow for anyone. Recent model guidance has been trending more offshore overall, which would mean the heaviest impacts fall near the Delmarva Peninsula and eastern North Carolina instead of the I-95 corridor. But as one forecaster put it, while some snow appears to be the most likely outcome, all scenarios remain on the table, from a complete miss to a major nor'easter. Meanwhile, today is Severe Weather Day. The SPC has a slight risk across the Ohio Valley, with tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail possible this afternoon and evening. Confidence is growing in the Wabash Valley and Evansville tri-state region. 3 Arctic blasts are now lined up over the next 2 weeks. Wildfires continue burning in Oklahoma. California's storm siege is still pounding the Sierra with feet of snow, and both models are curiously showing a potential Carolina snow system around March 3rd. Let me break it all down. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The weekend nor'easter. The model shifted south. Here's what changed. The latest GFS run moved the rain-snow line significantly further south compared to previous runs. Sunday afternoon, the low sits offshore of North Carolina, not the Carolinas and tracking north like earlier solutions, but forming there with the heaviest snowfield extending from North Carolina through Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, D.C., into southeastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. By Monday morning, the low intensifies to 971 millibars offshore the Mid-Atlantic, a monster system. Heavy snow sits across the coastal Mid-Atlantic and reaches into southern New England. New York City, Long Island, and eastern Pennsylvania look favorable on this run. Far southeastern Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island get involved, but Boston appears to be the far northern edge of the heaviest snow. The European model tells a completely different story. Advanced Arctic air forces the low further east and offshore before it can establish itself. It forms too late and too far out to sea. The result is virtually no snow for anyone on the eastern seaboard. But here's an important nuance. The European model does show a precursor system Friday night into Saturday that brings heavy snowfall across Massachusetts, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. That's a separate event from the weekend nor'easter and could accumulate meaningfully in those areas regardless of what happens Sunday. The NWS acknowledges both possibilities for the weekend. They say confidence is increasing for a coastal low by Sunday into Monday, and if it tracks closer to the coast, heavy coastal rain, inland snow, strong winds, and coastal flooding from the Mid-Atlantic to New England. But a more offshore solution means the heaviest precipitation falls near the Delmarva Peninsula and extends to eastern North Carolina, with less impact up the coast. Recent guidance has been trending toward the offshore scenario. AccuWeather puts D.C., New York City, and Boston near the rain-snow line. A small wobble flips the entire outcome. Impacts build Saturday night, peak Sunday, and linger into Monday if the coastal track tightens. Fox Weather sums it up well. While some snow appears the most likely outcome, all scenarios remain on the table, from a complete miss that tracks out to sea to a major nor'easter. This is a 4 to 5 day forecast, and the models have been wiggling with every run. Exactly what you'd expect at this range, but the potential remains enormous, and this storm is now almost on our doorstep. Today's severe weather, Ohio Valley. This is happening right now. The SPC has a slight risk across parts of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, with a marginal risk extending into Missouri, Tennessee, and West Virginia. The tornado threat runs from St. Louis eastward to Cincinnati, Columbus, Indianapolis, Evansville, Louisville, Lexington, and Bowling Green. A 989 millibar low deepens from the Central Plains into Wisconsin today. Cape values climb to 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram in the warm sector. Southeast Illinois, southern Indiana, and Kentucky. Wind shear is impressive. Surface winds from the south-southeast, 850 millibar flow at 40 to 50 knots from the south-southwest, and the mid-level jet screaming from the west. The significant tornado parameter climbs highest across southeast Illinois, southern Indiana, and western Kentucky through the afternoon. Supercells initiate near noon across southern Illinois, Effingham, Mount Vernon, Charleston, then push into Indiana, hitting Indianapolis, Bloomington, Evansville, and Lafayette by mid-afternoon. The tornado window peaks around sunset into early evening as the low-level jet ramps up. Then storms cluster into a squall line, pushing damaging wind gusts into southern Michigan, northeast Ohio, and western Pennsylvania late tonight. The NWS says confidence is greatest in the Wabash Valley and Evansville tri-state region. This is the first severe thunderstorm threat of 2026 for the Ohio Valley. 3 Arctic blasts. The pattern ahead now features 3 major Arctic regimes, not 2. The first arrives this weekend, Sunday the 22nd through Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures 5 to 15 degrees below normal and the coldest air focused on the northeast. A brief rebound by midweek as the southeast ridge fills in. The second Arctic blast hits next weekend around the 28th into March 1st, and the models are now showing a third blast in the early days of March. Between each blast, that opportunistic southeast ridge warms things back quickly, but every time it retreats, the cold floods back. Today's warmth is spectacular. 70s across the Ohio Valley, 80s along the Gulf Coast, approaching 90 in Miami. But the cold front sweeps through tonight and reality returns. Fire weather and wildfires. Critical fire weather continues today across the southern plains. The Amarillo area stretching to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Elk City, and El Reno. Elevated risk extends to Midland, El Paso, Wichita Falls, and the DFW area. Relative humidity down to 10 to 15%. Oklahoma's wildfires remain active, Woodward and Beaver County still burning. Open burning is not recommended across any of these zones. California storm siege. The Sierra Nevada keeps piling up, about 80 inches through Monday with more on the way. Snow levels remain dangerously low around 1,000 to 2,500 feet in the foothills. A third storm arrives this weekend with atmospheric river potential. A developing low off Oregon will enhance onshore flow with several inches of rain from northern California to western Oregon and heavy mountain snow. Northwest California could see 6 to 8 inches of rainfall, which could push a marginal risk for excessive rain Sunday into Monday. Mudslides are possible in coastal areas. Through late February, 20 feet of mountain snow possible at the highest peaks across the Cascades, Sierra Nevada, and Rockies. City-by-city predictions. West Coast and Mountain West, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Sacramento, San Diego, Phoenix, Salt Lake City, Boise, Flagstaff, Denver, Albuquerque. California's storm siege continues with more rain tonight and a heavier weekend system with atmospheric river potential. Sierra approaching 80 inches through Monday. Snow levels at 1,000 feet. Mudslide risk elevated. Wind gusts topping 80 mph in New Mexico and Arizona passes. Both models show massive western snow totals through late February. Salt Lake City and the Wasatch getting heavy snow. Cascades and Rockies stay active. Northeast, New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, D.C., Hartford, Providence, Portland, M.E., Buffalo. The GFS shifted the snow bullseye south, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania, now in the heaviest corridor. NYC, Long Island, and eastern PA look favorable on the GFS. Boston at the far northern edge of heavy snow. Connecticut and Rhode Island get moderate to heavy amounts. European model says complete bust, virtually no snow. Recent trends lean more offshore. NWS says confidence increasing, but track still uncertain. A precursor system, Friday into Saturday, could bring mixed precipitation and accumulating snow across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Arctic air arrives Sunday, 5 to 15 below normal. Buffalo active with lake effect. Southeast, Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Raleigh, Birmingham, Jacksonville, New Orleans. Record warmth today, 80s along the Gulf Coast, near 90 in Miami. Thunderstorms across the southeast tomorrow and Saturday as the cold front approaches. The weekend storm's GFS solution drops heavy snow across North Carolina and Virginia. The rain-snow line is much further south than previous runs. If the more offshore scenario verifies, the heaviest precipitation stays near Delmarva and eastern North Carolina. Arctic air arrives Sunday, Monday. Both models curiously show a potential Carolina snow system around March 3rd. Unusual that far into the season, but the agreement is worth noting. Midwest and Great Lakes: Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Columbus, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Louisville. Severe weather today: Supercell corridor from St. Louis through Indianapolis to Cincinnati and Louisville. Tornado threat peak sunset to early evening. Chicago in the hail zone tonight. Heavy snow and blizzard conditions northeast Nebraska through southern Minnesota. Freezing rain upper Michigan Friday, Saturday. Record warmth today, crashes by the weekend. Cleveland and Detroit on the northwest edge of the weekend storm. The GFS gives them snow, the European nothing. Plains and South Central: Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Omaha, Denver, San Antonio, Little Rock, Memphis. Fire weather continues. Critical risk: Amarillo to Tulsa to OKC. Oklahoma wildfires still active. Record warmth continues. Cold front tonight brings a big temperature crash. 3 Arctic blasts over the next 2 weeks keep the pattern volatile. Early March outlook: both models show a potential Carolina snow system around March 3rd. Unusual agreement at 15 days out. The European shows a full trough east cold pattern continuing. The GFS eventually warms by the first few days of March after the 3rd Arctic blast. March overall looks mild for the lower 48, but very active with well above average precipitation and increasing severe weather potential as INSO transitions to neutral. This winter is going out swinging. Thanks for watching.